Dr. Anil Kumar, President of the Students' Union, members of the faculty, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I want to say that I feel very privileged that I have been invited to say a few words and share my experiences on a variety of topics. I say variety because I decided I will speak on more than one topic that was given to me. I will touch upon thinking out of the box, how to be a game changer. I will also talk a little bit about demonetization, how it affected India's cement. And lastly, I will definitely speak about T20 cricket and what effect it will have on Test cricket. If I have learnt one thing in the last 40-50 years that I've been in business, it is that I'm an engineer. I went to management school also. I've read a lot of management books. But ultimately, there are two ingredients to success in any business. One is you must have focus. They say keep your eye on the ball, whether it is golf, cricket or anything else. But actually what it means is focus. You must have focus. You must know what you're doing, where you're going. Second is there is no substitute to hard work. Nothing comes easy in this world. There is no free lunch. So first and foremost, if you want to be, if you're confronted with adversity, when do you think out of the box? When are you forced to look for solutions? This is when you're confronted with problems, adversity, some kind of regulatory changes, all this sometimes, or even competition, everyday life. You might find that your product is getting obsolete. So if you realize that earlier, the faster you realize, how do you react quickly? So all these are components of what you would call thinking out of the box. With regard to mining, the government brought a draconian act called the Minerals and Metals MMDR Act. In this, what they did, and then there were also strict environment conditions. So as a result, what we found was, in one of our oldest plants, we have 10 manufacturing facilities, the one which is 70 years old, there we found that 3 or 4 mines could not operate anymore. Because we had to get certain permissions, we had to get certain renewals which were not there, environment lobbies were strong, so we did not know how long it will take for us to get this. What did we do? We hit upon a solution which is very strange. Earlier, in order to maintain the quality, we used to import 2% or 3% of imported limestone from Middle East. This would help us maintain a little bit of quality. But it was very expensive. If Indian limestone cost you 300-400 rupees a ton, this was 1,300 rupees a ton. So which will skew our cost of production. But what we thought was, okay, fine. We will make a virtue out of this. So we said, why import 4%? We'll import 50% of limestone. Half the requirement of limestone for our factory we imported. But what we did was, we used this in turn to improve the process to such an extent that our power consumption came down substantially. On top of that, we shifted our marketing arrangement to lay emphasis on quality and actually produced a product that was better than everybody else and therefore recaptured the market. So in the end it was worthwhile. But we did not sit and say, oh my God, what to do, limestone is going. No, we said, okay, boldly we went in and said we will use 50% of imported limestone. I think that is because we were forced. We had to keep the plant running. Mines were closed down. Imported limestone, we were people were trepidatious because they thought it will cost. But we said we will take other attributes of the imported limestone, use it, and we are now running it very successfully, very comfortably. And now, if you ask the plant management, they will say, sir, we don't want Indian limestone, 50% imported will do. This is a live example. Another example, we set up a plant in the Banswara district in Rajasthan. The natural market from there is, to go to Ahmedabad, is in Gujarat, in Rajasthan, and Madhya Pradesh. Now, we were new in that area. We had been a southern player. The local large players, they smile, they're all friends, but they ensured that their dealers that we would not get a single dealer. Now, without a dealer, without an outlet, how can cement be moved? How can cement be sold? So, again, we tried our best, but not a single person was prepared to take our cement who was a dealer of any other company. Then our people hit upon suddenly an idea. I said, why not use cricket? So we made a statement there to the dealers that if you become a dealer of India Cement, if you take our dealership, one, we will take you to Tirupati. And after Tirupati, straight you will go to see a CSK game and you can meet and greet with MS Dhoni and the team. They beat down their door. There was not a dealer left. Everybody became a dealer of India Cement, wore the yellow shirt and came to the match in Ahmedabad. We did not realize the power of cricket until then. It was a revelation, but still, there was a bright spark within our company who said, why not try this? It succeeded. The other example is the Tamil Nadu Premier League. For whatever reason, that will take a long discussion and debate, the Chennai Super King was banned for 2 years from cricket. Originally, how did this franchise come? There are original test playing centers in the country. There are, of course, many others that today have got 22 centers where you can play. Recently, England came to India. They played a test in Rajkot, they played in Vizag, played in Chennai. In Rajkot, they collected hardly 4-5 lakhs for the test. In Vizag, they collected 10-15 lakhs per test. In Chennai, 1 crore 20 lakhs was the collection. The reason is because this is the original test center. People are used to watching tests. Cricket, the cricket purists. In other centers, the T20 has come to stay, so there is an entertainment part of it. So therefore, when the IPL was conceived, we wrote a letter and said that can Chennai bid? Can India Cement bid? Why? The cricket-loving people of Chennai should have an opportunity. They should not lose out. The then President, Mr. Pawar, consulted everybody. They said yes. So we bid. We got the franchise. The T20, the CSK team became very popular. Then for 2 years, this vacuum came. So the thought process, what can we do? How shall we still see that the cricketing needs, that anxiety is best served? So then we thought of why not have our own league, the Tamil Nadu Premier League. So we asked MS Dhoni to come, he inaugurated it, the first day. We asked Star Sports, they said yes, if you are involved we will broadcast it. We were absolutely stunned when we received for 8 franchises 34 crores of rupees as franchise fee. If for a state in which where only domestic players were could play. And then actually when we took it to the districts, we set up 2 grounds in 2 districts, Dindigul and in Tinnevelly. And the production was very good, commentators were excellent, the quality of the game was good. If you had watched it on television, Okay, even in IPL, everybody doesn't know everybody's name. But this resembled an IPL game, and it turned out, and it was a resounding success, completely. This also came out of a kind of a focused thought that what should we do? Concern for the audience. And now TNPL is here to say it will go from strength to strength every year. These are examples how you can turn things around. One, the same line, if you look at it, take demonetization. I was asked what happened, demonetization effect on India Cement. Suddenly, on the 8th November, a speech was made by the Prime Minister. From 9th, they said 1,000 rupee note and the 500 rupee note is not legal tender. It shocked all of us because in our business, cement, there are, cement, you've got wholesalers, you've got dealers, you've got sub-dealers, and then you have got the last mile seller of cement also. What we did was, I think this was one of the best decisions. Again, it reflects on, we said we don't want to know from other people what is the effect. Because as a head of this business, I had to know what will happen, what will be the effect of demonetization on my business. So we said, okay. So I went and visited retail outlets, dealers in all the 5 states. I went morning to evening, sat with each little shop, had the chai, coffee, coconut water, whatever he had to offer, and inquired and tried to understand what was going on. You will be surprised to know that in not a single counter did that shop owner talk about the difficulty of demonetization. Not a single person, sir. He's a trader. He had to sell, say, 50 bags of cement in a day to manage. He was going to sell it. He was not bothered about, monetary, whatever happens in the world, because if he did not sell that 50 bags and take his 500 rupees home, there is no dinner. So therefore, these people found innovative method, the ingenuity of the Indian trader. They found ways and means to conduct his business in spite of the fact that the notes were there, notes were not there, and sale was not suffering. What did we do? We assisted by going from city to city, organizing meets of all these dealers, taking bankers along with us, and asking the bankers to explain to them how quickly they can change, they can use swipe machines, they can credit cards, and all the other alternate cashless methods of payment. They lapped it up, many of them embraced it. Result is, I was able to come and tell my board that don't worry, nothing will happen. When I said this on television, one reputed economic channel, they said I was a peculiar fellow, but I said I went to the field, you didn't. See, you were sitting in your room trying to tell us what is happening, but I went into the field, I found out for myself, and I'm absolutely clear that this will not affect my business. And now with the cap on withdrawals having gone, I think one is over, even that little hump, whatever was there. Possibly I was in the right product, cement, which is essential. I don't know about other products, but for that I have to go into the field to find out. I can't ask somebody's expert advice. But this was a great experience, and while everybody was saying demonetization, housing demand will go, construction sector will fall, nothing happened. Cement sale was higher than the same quarter last year. So nothing comes out unless you have an inquiring mind. You must go into it yourself, find out yourself on certain aspects. Now coming to the last topic, T20. Here, I think all of you would be aware that how the ODI started. The one-day cricket started first as an experiment in Australia. And after that, it gained a lot of strides, and over 3-4 decades, the one-day cricket was there to stay. I will take a few minutes to explain to you how the cricketing world operates. Take the International Cricket Council, ICC. For 75 years, Australia and England had a veto. On all decision making. Then it became a little bit more democratic. And then after some time, slowly India became not only good in the field, India became an economic power, because in the last rights, which was sold for 8 years, of close to $2 billion, 1.6 or something comes from India, from this subcontinent. So therefore that enormous economic power and clout which follows the Indian team was there. As far as the other countries are concerned, suddenly they found, for various reasons, I don't know, even take the West Indies, you take all other countries, exception of England and Australia, that either Test cricket was popular, or ODIs, or T20s. I have argued in the ICC, as a gentleman, because Australia said some of these countries were very concerned, so they wanted to change rules, they wanted to change so many things. So I said that let us assume, we had one product, Test cricket. We made that into 3 products, Test cricket, one-day cricket, and T20 cricket. Now what you people are trying to do is you want to have maximum market share for all your 3 products in every geography. Is it possible? It's not. There's no way. It won't happen that way. So now we have a phenomenon where in India all 3 are there. Test cricket you have a crowd, ODIs you have a crowd, but T20 we have a crowd. T20 we made it up, and IPL has just taken it to another level. You take for example Australia, Test cricket they have an audience is good, ODI is dropping. In many other countries, all other countries except England, hardly any audience. You have seen India played goes to West Indies, there will not be a single soul in the field. So they are playing to absent audiences. So what happens is, therefore, they want to innovate. They feel that if we change rules, if we play Test cricket, day, night cricket with a pink ball, people will come. These are all theories to be tested, but I don't know what other changes they will do. Even now they are contemplating some changes which may hurt India. I hope that they are not put through. But basically today, Test cricket, according to me, will be there to stay, because the T20 form will not affect so much Test cricket as it may affect ODI cricket. The T20 is there to stay. The IPL has made sure that the T20 format will be there. Test cricket has its own charm. We had in Chennai, it was an exciting test match against England, which India won. And that can be as exciting as any other format. So I don't think Test cricket per se will be affected by a T20. If at all, it can be the ODI format that will be affected. But in India, all 3 formats are good. So in other countries, in order to adjust to some of these changes, they may try to change the rules. For example, in the ODI World Cup, they made it so batsman friendly. I think you will remember that 5-10 years ago, 300 was a very big score. I mean, you get close to 300 in an ODI, it's very difficult for the team batting second to make it up. But now they do it very casually. 350 is not a safe zone now. That is because it has become oriented towards the batsman. But that's a change in rule. That is how the game has changed. But T20 and Test cricket will certainly be there. ODI in some countries is facing a challenge. But still, of all the tournaments, the one-day World Cup, Cricket World Cup, is still the prime tournament. So I think that is what will still keep the ODI flag running for some time. But countries should realize that times have changed also. I mean, compared to 40 years ago, 50 years ago, now people are so busy. See, cricket score, live commentary can be delivered on your mobile phone. Today there are so many scientific devices which have come where you don't have to go to a cricket ground to follow the match. You can be, you can watch it, see the highlights. After you finish work, go home in the evening, relax and watch the cricket match. So therefore, that is not being taken into account when people say audiences are not coming. Audiences are there. They need not necessarily come to the ground. So overall, I think the answer is, I don't think Test cricket is in that danger what people feel. All three forms will survive. It depends on the level and intensity of competition between teams. I think I said as much as I wanted to. I'm quite happy to answer any questions anybody will have. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your enriching words. Now, we open the floor for the questions. Does anybody have questions? We need a mic in the third row.
Hello sir, I want to know your experience while transitioning from running a successful cement company to becoming the president of BCCI and owning and managing.
Apply your mind on those lines, you will not find any difficulty.
Next question please.
Hello sir, I would like to know how was your experience during the tenure of being the president of Madras Chambers of Commerce and Industry?
Can you repeat?
I would like to know how was your experience during the tenure as being the president of Madras Chambers of Commerce and Industry?
Yes. It is, not many people realize the importance and contribution of these chambers of commerce. Sometimes, one takes it lightly. The Madras Chamber, I think over 100 years, 150 years old or something. And it was originally formed by 18 businessmen in Chennai. The idea was that they get together and bring their problems to whoever was in government. Chambers of commerce have a very, very important role. Today they have become an interface between trade, industry and the government, and a sounding board for the government when they want to change policies. So that year I was president of the Madras Chamber. Was a very fascinating experience. We also managed during that period to get a lot of senior people from the government of India to come and speak to the businessmen of Chennai. I still remember the then finance minister, Mr. Yashwant Sinha, came. He delivered an extremely good address. The bridge between a state which is far away, you see, normally Delhi-centric chambers have got greater access to the powers that be, to the government and maybe even to all policymakers. But for a chamber in Chennai to come, to get people, attract people from here to come and speak to them so that they are better informed, I think that was one of the challenges we had. And but the tenure was I really enjoyed it, excepting that it is quite arduous and strenuous. It takes a lot of time.
Yeah, sir, my questions is about this Lodha's committee's recommendations. What the future of Indian cricket that you see after the Lodha's committee's recommendations are implemented effectively?
The Lodha committee there is recommendations, it's all sub judice now. So in a sense that if we were sitting privately among four of us, I can tell you a lot. But with the mic in front of me, I have to plead that it is sub judice because I think there are arguments going on in the Supreme Court, touching on that also, so I'm constrained. But if we were otherwise sitting over a cup of coffee, I'll tell you what I feel.
Morning, sir. Sir, I want to ask, since cricket is the most celebrated sport in India, so how hard is it to meet the expectations of people while taking decisions regarding the sport?
Can someone repeat that question?
Sir, I want to ask, since cricket is the most celebrated sport in India, how hard is to meet the expectations of the people while taking decisions regarding the sport?
How difficult it is to meet the expectations of
people, like same thing.
Cricket is, cricket is like when I was the president of BCCI, later also as ICC, you will be bombarded with telephone calls from media all the time on every little thing. What I did was I made a policy that I will not speak to a single reporter from a single newspaper. Then what happens, everybody else will say, speak to me, tell me. I said I will talk to everybody at once. I mean, press conference is fine, so everyone gets information at the same time. I cannot be selectively talking to people, that is one. Second thing is that where cricket is concerned, everything is news. That is, you have to first understand that and reconcile to the fact that anything you do can be stated as it is, can be stated for, against in any fashion, but you should not get upset, just take it. Lastly, what we follow, at least I followed very religiously, is I used to say I am not here to be popular. I am here to administer. So I will decide in the interest of BCCI what is to be done in the interest of sport. If people view it fine, if they view it well, fine, otherwise too bad. But mine is it's a tenure-based job. It's not, you can't be president for life. See, during your period, you act in the best interest, you be objective. Don't look at the result or what people will say. Then you will have a problem. So I did not have a problem myself because I just acted what is right and took whatever came, plus or minus. That you must be prepared to.
Any other question?
Hello, sir. Sir, I want to ask you that we all know that Big Bash League of Australia, it's gaining increasingly, it is going popular. Also, South Africa is also initiating its process to set up a similar league. So, will this affect the popularity of IPL?
You have to first understand the Big Bash and all these are coming after IPL.
Yes, sir.
So that itself answers everything. I don't think the audience for IPL is unmatched. See, why is all the revenue coming out of India? Because people are advertising. People want to advertise their product. They want the Indian audience to see it. So, according to me, other leagues can come. There is already a Caribbean Premier League which is there, but it will not affect the IPL. The IPL is way ahead of any other competition.
Next question, please. A student representative is requested to come in the front row.
Very good morning, sir. Sir, I want to ask that what gave you the spark in you that you wanted to become the BCCI chairman from India's leading India's cement company? You are an MD of India Cement Company, and what gave you the spark that you wanted to become a BCCI chairman?
साथ ही तो ये चाचा मैं शाम को आता हूँ
I'm asking that
वो मैं समझ रहा हूँ
what gave you the spark in you that you wanted to become BCCI chairman?
अरे बात कर
Okay. No.
वो मैं समझ रहा हूँ
As I said, we have a long history
मैं इंतजाम
of cricket
कर रहा हूँ
in our country.
इंतजाम कर रहा हूँ
And from 1990, I joined the Tamil Nadu Cricket Association and was involved in sports administration of cricket in Tamil Nadu for a long time. Then after that, I went to the BCCI as a representative from Tamil Nadu, and then I became a treasurer, secretary, and president. So it was a progression that just happened. It's not like day one I said I want to become chairman. No. I was continuously involved in cricket administration.
चलो मैं शाम को आता हूँ आपके पास अभी शूट पे था मैं ठीक है
We'll be taking the last question.
अरे आता हूँ चाचा शाम को अभी
Good morning, sir.
काम कर रहा था अभी आता हूँ शाम को
we've all heard and read that the road to success is not an easy one. So could you please talk about some of the difficulties that you faced in your entire journey till now and how you overcame them?
चलो करता हूँ मैं इंतजाम करता हूँ ठीक है
I'll take 2 hours.
देखता हूँ आप यहाँ से फ्री होकर करता हूँ ठीक है ना मैं श्रीराम कॉलेज में हूँ अभी
I'll answer it slightly differently because it is difficult for me now to say what were all the difficulties.
हाँ अब चाचा प्लीज
First,
प्लीज हाँ चलो
India Cement
शाम को आता हूँ आपके पास ठीक है
was the first public issue of independent India.
नहीं मैं क्या
It is the first IPO of independent India in 1947. This was it is one credit it has got which no one can take away.
मैं समझ रहा हूँ
From its start, you see, cement was a controlled industry. Price and distribution was controlled by the government. So profit was limited to what you could come within the price fixed by the government. Then it was cement industry was decultured partially in 82, finally fully in 89. 89-90, we had this balance of payments crisis in India. The reforms came. Everything changed. Foreign companies could come. Your protectionism vanished overnight. So over this period, we faced challenges of different kinds. Like I said, I gave you a few examples of how we reacted to changes. But throughout the journey, it has not been an easy journey for us. It has not been difficult because we were in a very regulated atmosphere. Then when the gates opened, everyone on earth came inside. So we had to become extremely competitive. The most important thing is, I think we continuously recognize change that is taking place outside. If you don't recognize change, you can become obsolete. So I think that is one of the reasons why we have been able to survive. But I'd love to answer your question in great detail, but then I'll be here till the evening. So therefore you have to accept this as an answer.
Thank you, sir, for enlightening the audience with your thoughts and on how one can successfully become a game changer. It was indeed an enriching beginning.
I now invite Karan Ratnam and Pranav Malhotra to present Mr. Srinivasan with a bouquet, with a memento.